Hi, it's Brandy Alexander with your weekly reading from September 17th to September 23rd. Sorry about that. We've got the Hermit card, we've got the Seven of Wands, we have the Ace of Wands, and I've got a Mexican Loteria card for the end, which gives a special message to you all. So the Hermit card, if you remember, last week we had Archangel Uriel, and he was lighting our way as well. They're the same card, virtually. The Hermit, you'll see he's on top of a snowy mountain range, which I always think of the Himalayas. And he's got the big beard, the cloaked hood, the staff, and the lantern. So what does it all mean? It is about going inside yourself. It is about finding your spiritual truth. It's all about your integrity. We've had that for a few weeks. It is all about what is right for you. It's about being still. The snow is, if you've ever been in snow, and if you've been in snow in the countryside, it is almost like being in a soundproof room. It is very, very still. And the sound of snow falling, it's kind of hard to explain, but it's almost like a sense. It's not necessarily something you hear. It's not necessarily auditory, but it's a sense you pick up. So imagine being on top of the Himalayas, you yourself, looking down on the whole world. It's the top of the world, it really is. And think about what that would mean to you if you could view your whole life, the whole world, from being at the top, in the stillness. And the beard symbolizes wisdom, and it's from what you've gained in your own life experience. There's also a sense of patience with this. He's just standing there, taking his time. So maybe you need to bide your time with something. It's time to gather your thoughts before you do your next big move. But it is a major arcana card, so it's meaning it's about not rushing things, but the major arcana means it's like a karmic thing. It's this time in your life is meant to be, and it's time for you to, and the staff, you think of it's not necessarily that he needs it, but he might poke the ground, prod the ground to test it, but he also does it to support himself. So all of those symbols for you are fabulous. It's about shining the light, your own truth, and sticking to that. And he's humble. Again, it's no big song and dance. This is about just plodding along, doing what's true to you. And because it is your own truth, it's totally right for you. Don't let anyone tell you any other way, because this is your truth, your life. This is how it's supposed to be. The star, or the light within the lantern, it's shining for everyone else to see. It is, if you have a truth that might help other people, it's for you to lead the way for others. And think about, what are you doing? Maybe you're showing other people. Maybe it's your own children. Maybe it's friends, family. Maybe it's in a business that you've got. You're lighting the pathway for others to do their own truth. So really, this is about being true to yourself, going within, and doing what's totally right for you. And what an exciting time. Like, how exciting to be living your own life for you. That's what life's all about. It's very tricky when we have relationships with others, whether it be career, marriage, career or marriage. right now what other relationships we have, I suppose friendships, and to, you know, to blend two together doesn't always um, work forever. And that's because your spiritual truths may change. What one person has to grow for in life changes, or maybe it never was the same at the start and it was an illusion that it was. So give yourself the patience and the time before you take the next step if that's what's needed. But last week it said all systems go, and I think it was more about being true to who you are. This is Wands, and it is about defending your rights, defending what's true for you. This has come up before a few times in the last few months. There's new shoots, it's new ways of being. Other people might be so surprised at how you're moving along, and sometimes it scares other people because they don't know how to react to you. Sometimes it triggers other people's shortcomings in their own life that they're not ready to address. And it makes them feel very uncomfortable because it's like a giant magnifying glass on their own life for them, and they don't want to move ahead. So they start to feel really uncomfortable. So this is about just defend yourself, learn to say no, and do what's right for you. The more you do it, the more you practice that, the more you'll be on steady ground. It's, you know, that person depicted in the card, he's feeling a little unsteady, but he spread his legs, so he does have solid ground. He does have his wand there to defend himself. Maybe you don't need to defend yourself. Maybe you just are worried you might have to. Sometimes a lot of this stuff's in our head more than it really happens. So just be true to you, and as long as you don't need to explain yourself to anyone either. It's you, you know, it's your life. You do what you need to do. And, you know, other people, they've got their own agendas, and don't let their agendas be yours. That's what they're trying to do. Here, pick mine, pick mine. Nah. He's got his wand, his life, his new experiences firmly in his hand, so you don't need to do that. The Ace of Wands, how fabulous is that? It's another very spiritual card. It is gifts from heaven. It is new ideas, things handed to you. Everything you want or that you're striving for is right there. And it is heaven sent, definitely heaven sent. It is, everything's coming to fruition. And sometimes it may take a little time. It is about spirituality too. There's that water there. It was in this one too. Anytime we're crossing that little barrier, it is about spirituality, you know, learning more about our higher self. And the Ace of Wands is something to really look forward to. It's everything's meant to be. Everything's just as it should be. And it starts with you being true to yourself. So keep on doing what's inside, and it's super, super positive. Remember the cards from months ago. If you want to do a review, go right back to some of the very beginning readings that I was doing, and they really said that everything is going to be okay as long as you're true to yourself. Don't go by what other people are saying. You need to know what's in your heart and within your spirit, and it will be right as long as you're not trying to twist the system, meaning our life path. The more you try to bend it to make it be something that isn't necessarily right for you, it's like springing a leak in a hose, you know. It's weakening. It weakens the outcome. We do need to sometimes experience pain, teething pain, for change, and that's okay. You know, it hurts, but that's life's experience. As long as you're doing what you think is truly right for you. Now the last card, it's called La Maceta, which means the flower pot. And you think about it, everything that's in that pot, let's say you bought little seedlings and they grew in that pot, that's all it ever knows. That's the life it knows. And the Mexican meaning was actually, if you're born in the flower pot, you stay in the flower pot. But it also, within that meaning is, things won't change if you don't change. If you don't do any action, nothing's going to just fall in your lap like that. For a lot of you, I know that it's there's a lot of fear in what's happening with these changes, what's true to your heart. There's a lot of fear to, you know, there were cards before that were on a precipice. The Fool card, he had the little satchel on his, you know, back, and look, the dog was barking as a warning, but really it was all about everything you needed was in that. Now the Hermit, he's on top of the mountain, he is safe. This is the next step, being true to yourself. So unless you do some action and be brave about it, just think how these would flourish if they were planted in a garden. And the garden is your truth and your reality. So unless you want to stay in your little flower pot and you want to become a big, beautiful botanical garden, you need to do some action, which was last week. It said action. And planets are all out of retrograde as far as I know. It's new moon, like the lead up to a full moon. So really, really exciting things happening. It's all systems go. So look after yourself, be true to yourself, and follow what's right for you, and don't back down. Until next time. It should be in Bali. I might be doing a reading from Bali, providing everything will upload. So I'll see you in a week.